Hey folks, it is November, well it's technically November 2nd because it is midnight on November 1st. Sunday evening here at midnight, I am watching our E-mini trade overnight here very closely. Still feel pretty good about it, guys. Lots of theta in this trade, or lots of extrinsic, no theta really at this point, right? Because we're trading a 2-day expiration with a 1-day strategy. So you guys know the travails and the issues with that, but lots of extrinsic value in this trade. So anyway, up all night, pulling an all-nighter. I wanted to give a video update to you guys on where I'm at personally with this program, and what that means for you, and just where we're going with this, and some things that I'm really excited about. As you guys know, if you've been in this program for any amount of time, I'm huge on this value added quotient. You guys know that I did a lot of seminar trainings for Robert Kiyosaki. Over a very extended period of time. We traveled the world and we did that. And as is the case with so many products, whatever your product is, no matter how valuable your product is, ultimately you have to sell that product to people, and people have to pay you money. People have to buy that product from you, or else you go out of business and you don't have a product anymore. Everything in life is sales. If you don't think you're in sales, you're wrong. We're all in the game of sales. If the definition of sales is that you have to motivate someone to take action, right? If you're married, if you have a significant other in your life that is interested in you and proclaims to love you, guess what? You did a sales job on them, right? You convinced them. And so the point of that is that in this process of doing these training seminars, we would sell people training. And I saw two very different routes that were taken in this process. One was the timeshare, lock them in a room for 12 hours, deprive them of food and water, just beat them up until they either buy or tell you they're going to call the cops on you if you don't let them out of the chained up door, right? So it's just high pressure sales tactics to get people to purchase something. The other route is what I just call value added. You create so much value around whatever it is that you're trying to sell that people almost can't say no. They just have to see the value and say, man, this, I have to get involved in purchasing whatever it is that you're trying to sell, right? And that's kind of always the tact that I took. I just said, listen, if trading really is what we say it is, you don't have to twist people's arm to get involved in our training and education. And I really focused on just creating more value. So that's kind of my mantra. You guys know that. That's my mantra, is to try to over-deliver and under-promise. And at the same time, I will tell you that part of what drives me is transparency. I never thought about this. I never, ever really even considered this. But one of the mainstay comments that I get on my YouTube channel is, man, you didn't overhype the trade. You showed us the good, the bad, and the ugly. You traded with real money in a real account. It wasn't a paper trading account. It was real money. Everybody knows that with Tastyworks because they don't have a virtual trading account. And you were fully transparent in your video. I will show the trade as I'm setting it up. You will see my horrible fills. You will see sometimes the mistakes that I make in the trades where I'm pushing a buy button versus a sell button or what have you. And I will show you every single thing that happens along the way in the trade. So there's complete transparency. Those are rarities, I guess, in this business. And so the reason that I say this, and this is why I kick this video off with this, is because I always want to be transparent with you guys in my effort to create as much value added propositions as I can in this program. When we started this program initially, I came up with the number of 80 members, 80 trading members in our program. I felt like that was the number. There's no math behind that. It just seemed like a good number in terms of how many people I could interact with and still keep the quality high. Some of you may have noticed in the last week here, I sort of opened the doors back up again, and I'm allowing more people in the program. We have 100 people. We have 100 members that are active in this program, usually every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We actually have about 140 subscribers to the program. Only about 100 of them are participating though, and of those 100, there's about 80 that are still solid. So I know that if you haven't expressed it, there may be a concern. Hey, are we going to grow this thing too big to where it's unpersonalized, and why are we doing this? Well, let me tell you why. So this is the long circuitous path that I'm getting to here. I am at a fortunate place in my life where I don't really have to work anymore to feed my family, keep a roof over our head. My trading has the potential to give me more than I need. But I've had these cool opportunities over the last several years to work with Paradigm Press, and through their platform, we do training programs with Robert Kiyosaki and Jim Rickards, and that's been wonderful for me. I've really enjoyed it, but it doesn't pay. It pays, but it doesn't pay well, I guess is the best way to put it. I didn't want to say that, but it doesn't pay as well as you would hope for with something that you put that much work in. And I'm at the point in my life where I don't really want to work any more than I'm already working doing those videos. And this program, as awesome as it has been a lot of work. It has been a lot of effort and energy on my part, and it ties me to if I want to go out and go riding, dirt biking, mountain biking, whatever it is, I can't do what I used to do. And so my thought process on this was, listen, I feel like I'm handling the program fairly well right now in terms of quality. And when I say quality, the biggest thing that I look at is, are you and I able to have a personalized relationship? If you send me a DM, do I answer you right back? If you have a question, do I get it answered? Or is it, do I miss it and not get it at all? Or is it 3 days before I get back to you, right? So I'm gonna open the doors here, and I'm gonna keep bringing people in, because this is something that is way bigger than we ever anticipated. Those of you that started with this program initially know, man, I was hoping to get 10 of you guys. I was hoping to get 10 people on board. And I thought, man, that would pay for my overhead on it, and it would just be a fun little project. Well, we're at 140 now, and there's no end in sight, really. I want to keep growing this as long as I can keep it personalized to where you and I can talk individually. And here's why. I think it will allow me an actual decent income stream. This is something that I never had anticipated when I put this program together, that it would be any sort of substantive income for me. If I have 200 of you in here, it's a substantive income, right? That will allow me to pull back from my responsibilities with Paradigm Press and put more and more and more efforts into this program, which is what I want to do. It really is my passion. And that is where I get to the roundabout way of telling you why and how I think I can bring a lot more value added to this. So I just wanted to just lay that out there and talk about some of the value added things that I'm looking at. There's 7 things that I wanted to go through with you in this video. Number 1 is a condensed replay up on my YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of our entire trading day. Okay, now I did this on Friday. Last week's trading video I put up. It was about an hour and 20 minutes. That's too long. I'm going to try to edit that down and condense it to where I'm just screen capturing any moment where I talk specifically about our trade, or obviously when we're putting in positions or adjusting positions. And I think I can get that down to about 45 minutes. Now, I've already had a couple of you comment to me from Friday's video, hey, you made whatever I did. I think I made $7,200 on Friday's video, and both of these individuals lost money on the day, right? And they said, listen, I was completely lost. I didn't understand where I went wrong. I went back, I watched that recap video, and I saw exactly the mistakes that I made. And so I think this is going to be valuable for you guys. I will be double recording, right? I'll be doing the Zoom every day now, along with the screen capture. And then at the end of the day, I will render that video and put it up on the YouTube channel. Try to keep it under 45 minutes so that you guys have that as a resource to just go back and look at the day. We also had some comments from people that could pop in and out of the Discord live chat, but they were at work or in a position where they couldn't be involved in the Zoom. And you use a lot of context. You lose a lot of that if you don't really understand what's happening, and you lose that ability to sort of see. So I'm going to do these recaps for you guys. That takes a little bit of work to render those videos, but we're going to throw those up. That's number one, is we're going to do a video recap or a condensed replay of each one of our trading days. Number two is I'm going to put some effort into doing weekly training videos for you guys. Now, I talked with my mentors, and they're all like, "Oh, you can easily charge $50 a month to put up training programs for people." And I'm like, "Yep, I'm already charging them. We're not going to charge them anymore." So I'm going to do this every single week. You guys are giving me the topics that we want to talk about. I've already got a list probably that will take me out 2 weeks here on what we want to work on. You guys have wanted to get some training and videos on exit strategies. How do we define our exit strategies? Another one is choosing spreads. How do we look at the pros and cons of a tight spread versus a wide spread, or maybe even a naked position, right? A strangle, if you will. So we're going to do a video on how to choose the spread widths. I'm going to look at talking about how to choosing a higher delta versus a lower delta trade. There's pros and cons to both of those, and you have seen that we've done both of those in this program. We've picked 5 delta trades. The trade that I'm in right now is a 30 delta trade, right? So each one of those has their own unique pros and cons to them. So we're going to do a video on those. We're going to talk about stop losses. Now, the title of this video is, "Are Stop Losses Stupid?" Question mark. So I know that's a little clickbaity, but we're going to talk about what the purpose of a stop loss is, and what they do well and what they don't do well, and maybe the best way to approach stop losses. Okay, so we're going to talk about stop losses. We're going to talk about high probability trades. Are they bad? There are a lot of traders that will put on a straddle. They'll put on a trade on the S&P 500 with calls and puts at the money, right? What does that trade look like? So we're going to look at that. High probability trades. Are they worse than a low probability trade? Back and forth. So either one of those we're going to look at. I'm going to talk about, I want to show you a very quick primer video in the next couple of weeks on the best truly diversified portfolio system allocation, if you will, that I have ever back tested, invested in, or seen in 30 years of doing this for a living. Okay, so if you have a 401k, if you have a retirement account, if you have long-term buy and hold positions, I'm going to talk about building the best portfolio you possibly can and what that might look like. Okay, so I got a video on that. Got another video on all of the indicators that I use. What are the indicators that I look at to build these trades throughout the day? Okay, so I got a couple of weeks of information already set there, but we're going to do weekly training videos for you guys so that you got more stuff to digest than you can ever shake a stick at. Okay, and then here's one of the big ones, guys. This is one of the big ones that you guys have been sort of chomping at the bit at. When I put the beta test together originally on this program, I just mentioned the fact that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which are obviously off days for us, I throw out some bonus trades for you guys. Now, we've done that sporadically here, but nothing formalized. I want to formalize that now. And so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to do a 0 day to expiration trade. That is not a 0 day to expiration trade, okay? So it is going to be a 1 day trade. It's going to be a day trade. We're going to be in and out of that trade the very same day that we get into it, but we're going to be using weekly options, and it's going to be on a stock. The underlying asset will be a stock, okay? So on Tuesdays, obviously, we'll have 4 days left expiration in that option, but we're going to get out the same day. On Thursdays, we'll have 2 days to expiration, but we're going to still get out the same day. And the real name of this trade is a theta scalp, okay? You saw an example of a theta scalp that I did last week on Tesla. We did one on Tesla, right? That turned out really well. I think I brought in $5,000 or something like that on that Tesla trade. And so the criteria for this trade is a little tough. There may be Tuesdays and Thursdays that we don't have the opportunity to find something to trade, but this is what we're looking for every Tuesday and Thursday. Looking for a stock with high IV. And when I say high IV, I mean 50% or greater, okay? So a stock that has high IV of 50% or greater, something that we can try to find a little bit of directional bias in. It doesn't necessarily have to have a ton of directional bias, but it needs to sort of be moving. It can't just be sitting, right? It has to be moving down or moving up a little bit. And then we're going to close that trade at the end of the day. There is no overnight holding on this transaction. And the money that I allocate to this trade is my 0 day to expiration capital. So if I've got 50 grand that I'm committing to trade on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, that money's now going to be allocated on these Tuesday and Thursday trades. So the only issue, guys, that this will create for some of you is if you have less than $25,000, you can only do maybe one of these a week, because if you do 3 or more, you start getting into that PDT issues, and we don't want to get into a restricted account situation. But if you have over $25,000 in your account, that's not an issue, and we can do these. So we're going to be doing Tuesday and Thursday trades for you guys. This will not be zoomed. I'm not going to use a zoom on these trades because they're a little bit more straightforward. There should not be too many adjustments in this strategy. There's definitely fewer adjustments in this strategy than there is the 0 day to expiration. So a little bit more passive in nature, okay? So that's number 3, the big announcement. Again, my advisors are like, Scott, you can charge $150 a month for that particular strategy as a standalone. I'm like, that's great. You guys are already on board. I want to just throw this into the mix, okay? All right, number 4 is the one that I am the most excited about. Guys, I'm really, really geeked up about this. This is something that, just like this program itself, has really, really, really ramped up and progressed, at least in my mind, over the last couple of days, very, very quickly, very quickly. So in our live chat room, over the last couple of weeks, we have bantered around the idea of all of us getting together someplace once a year or twice a year and hanging out and talking about trading and whatnot. And that sounded cool. That sounded interesting. And I know a lot of you have expressed an interest in that. I want to take that up a notch. I want to take that to a higher level. And I want to do it as a mastermind group. I don't want to do it as sort of an informal, hey, let's come hang out and do some fun stuff together. I want to do a full-on mastermind group. So this is basically the formal announcement of the formal mastermind group. We're going to do this on a semi-annual basis, so twice a year, and one of these mastermind groups will be in the United States, One of them will be in Europe. Okay, so whichever one you want to attend, you can pick and choose. This is huge, guys. This is so big. It's so important. I'm going to do a complete separate video for you guys on the Mastermind group, what it entails, what it looks like. You're going to be blown away. I think you're going to be blown away. I've been a part of Mastermind groups with Joe Polish, Dan Sullivan. I helped Dean Graciosi run his Mastermind group for a while. And so I think I know, obviously I've worked with Robert Kiyosaki's Inner Circle group, which is $50,000 a year. I know what a good mastermind group brings to the table in terms of value. I'm going to talk about how we can do this at a cost that is not $25,000 to $100,000 a year. And that gets back to my original comment of why I need and I want to bring in more subscribers to this program, because I believe I've got a little bit of a pencil to paper here, and we'll get into this in the separate video on the Mastermind group. But I believe that I'm going to have to subsidize the cost of this to the tune of about $50,000. So that we don't have to pay $25,000 to $100,000 to have a mastermind group. Okay. So anyway, we'll get into that. Look for the separate video on the mastermind group. I'm very, very excited about that. Number 5, trading journal spreadsheet. So there are so many Excel spreadsheets and so many different versions of those spreadsheets that people and companies and trading firms use to track the results of their trading. Guys, I've been at this for decades and decades. The very best one that I've ever seen is put out by my buddy Greg. I've known him for 15 years. It is sort of the industry standard for tracking your trading results. His top of the line trading journal software is $180 to purchase the software. I'm doing 2 things with him right now. We're in the process of customizing a couple of the columns, a couple of the charts areas, to grab things like our capture rate. Very few people track your capture rate. In other words, you brought in $1,000 premium at the start of the day. How much of it did you actually keep percentage-wise, right? So we're doing a little bit of tweaking on that. And then the big thing is I'm trying to work with him and basically tell him, Greg, look, I've got 150 people that need and want a tracking system. How much can you knock off of this price? And see what we can get it down to so it's not $180. But that we'll be introducing that a little bit later here. I don't know if it will be this week, but very soon. So we've got a tracking system that's coming for you that you can track every single metric of what we do. I know that a couple of you in here have already asked me for recommendations. I turned you on to Greg, and you're using his program already. And I think that you guys have loved it from what I have heard comment-wise, but it's the most comprehensive thing I know to track your trading results. Number 6, value-added thing. Maximus, one of our just stellar contributors to our forum and our trading room, has graciously donated some of his knowledge and some of his time to put together a very simplified, a very straightforward sort of app, if you will, that we can use as a group to track our daily results, track our profit and losses. And after the market closes tomorrow on Monday, or today on Monday, whenever you happen to be watching this video, we're going to give him some time in the chat room, and he can go over how it works and what it does. And so stay on the Zoom call after the market closes. He's going to go through that, and I think you guys are going to love that. And then last but not least, number 7 is I am going to put a website together and put up a bunch of PDF documents. So I have published over the decades probably 30 e-booklets or PDF files on trading, and usually those were things that we would sell for $100 or $150. I'm just going to throw them up there for your guys' consumption. Okay, so we're working on the website as well. So I just wanted to go through all of the stuff that we are working on, guys. My goal is, if I can bring in some more subscriptions, still keep this service good, use that income to offset what I'm doing over at Paradigm, pull my workload back a little bit there, focus more on what we're doing here. Man, I think we can push the value through the roof. So look for the video on the Mastermind group opportunity. I will tell you right now that it's not going to be for everybody, and it is intensive. But if you find yourself in a position where you're like, man, I want to take my results to another level, this could be what does it for you. So look for that video. This is basically the overview, guys, of what I wanted to talk about and where we're at. I want to continue to ramp up the value here. I saw a couple of you in the chat room on Friday talking, concerned that your monthly subscription was not going to auto renew and somehow you would get kicked out of the program and never get back in, and you desperately wanted to make sure that it was going to auto renew. I love that. I love that. That means that you're finding value in what we're doing here, right? And I want to continue that. So this is not the end. This is the tip of the whole process here. I want to continue as the days and the weeks and the months and the years go by to enhance and enhance and enhance this program even more. So just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that. Look for the video on the mentorship. We'll talk to you guys later.